Welcome back to DOSEfashions Academy, Creative Minds. After the success of our one-side drape skirt tutorial with so many of you loved, we are taking it up a notch today. In this lesson, I'll be showing you how to drape the elegance Wrap Cowl Drape Skirt, a stylish piece that adds flow and sophistication to your wardrobe. Stay tuned as we break it down step by step. Hi, Mary Ododo is my name and I help you give your creativity expressions. If it's your first time of visiting this channel, kindly click on the subscription button right now so you're not going to be missing out on any tutorials on this channel. So here with me, I want to quickly show you the measurements you're going to be needing for this pattern draft. The basic measurements you need is just your hip circumference and then your waist circumference. That is all. So just measure your hip circumference, okay, your skirt length as well, where you want the length of your wrap to get to, probably your knee, your probably floor length, it depends. So those there, I have my measurement, which is my waist circumference. So I'm going to be adding ease allowance to this measurement. Your ease allowance now depends on what you want. You can say I want maybe ranging from 1 to 3 inches. So you can check that in your CN. So I'm going ahead to add 2 inches for my ease allowance. That puts me at 34 divided by 4. So that's give me 8.5. The same thing I'm going to be repeating for my hip circumference as well. My hip circumference 38 inches plus ease allowance of 2 inches, and then I divide by 4. 38 plus 2 inches give me 4. So 4 divided 4, I'm going to be having 10 inches, which I'm going to be using for my hip circumference. Now, the next thing I want to do is to calculate our dart distribution, because we are going to be distributing that. Inside this will also have effect in our draping and make our skirt to be fitted. You learn how to do your dart distribution and how to get your dart distribution. The formula used in calculating your dart distribution is your hip circumference minus waist circumference divide 2. So what do I have in my hip circumference now? I have altogether, I have 40 inches minus the waist circumference, which is 34, then divide 2. So that puts me into having 6 divide 2, and then I'm going to be having 3. So I'm going to be using 3 inches for my dart distribution on this project. So 3, because I'm going to be having 2 darts on my front basic, but for my front skirt, I'm also going to be having 2 darts on my basket. So on my back skirt. So this will help me to connect the drapes very well. So this 3 divide by 4. So I'm going to be dividing 3 by 4, which puts me at having a 0.75. And I'm going to be using a 0.75 on the 2 darts for the front, 2 darts for the back. Okay, do you get that? So 0.75, 2 darts for the front, 2 darts for the back. So that puts me into having my full calculation. But if you are not doing 4 darts, like 2 darts for your front, 2 darts for your back, look at what I'm showing you on this sketch on my paper there. If it is 2 darts you want, maybe 1 dart on your basic skirt, 1 dart on the front, 1 dart on the back. So you're just going to be dividing by 2. Depends on the number of darts you are putting. But for this case, we are putting 4 darts, which is necessary. That's why we are putting 4 darts, and it is divided by 4. It's 0.75. which is rightly divided. So now we are going to be calculating our new measurement. So because you are adding that to this, 1.5 that is going for my front skirt, 1.5 that is going for my back skirt. So 1.5 is now going to be added to 8.5 inches, which was the measurement I got before, and this puts me at having 10 inches on my waistline. And then for my hip circumference as well, then I have 10 inches before, and then I'm going to be adding 1.5, and this puts me at having 11.5 inches. So right now we are going to be driving into this. So these are all the measurements I'm going to be putting on this pattern. No extra. So I'm going to now be using the largest part of the measurements I have to get my paper measurements. I'm going to be using the largest part. The largest part is what? It is the hip circumference, right? So that is what I'm going to be using to know the number of paper I want, the size of the paper I want. So I need 11.5 inches. So 11.5 inches is times 2, because I'm going to be having my front and my back on the same paper because we are connecting it. So 11.5 times 2. That is the largest measurement to have. Use the largest measurement you have to get your paper size. Then you multiply by 2. 11.5 multiplied 2 is going to be putting me at 23. So now I'm creating my margin line, which is going to be serving automatically for my center front, and then my margin line on the upper side of the skirt as well. I always do my margin line, which always guide me into getting my starting line. It is a starting line or a margin line. So after implementing my lines, which are my margin line, I want to confirm my measurement. Like I said, I'm using 11.5, which is the hip circumference, and it's the largest measurement I have here to get my paper size. So now I'm going to be going ahead to times 2 of this puts me at 23. You can see that this measurement does not need a zipper allowance, right? Because it's a wrap. There is no joining at the back. It is cotton fold, and the wrap is going to be coming to the front, and you're going to be having the button closure on your waistline for the front. So now I have my 23 inches, which I've rightly placed there. So I'm going to be drawing down a straight line. So that line I'm doing over there is not going to be serving as my center back. Great. So I want to highlight this other margin line, which is going to be serving as my center front. Amazing. Now the next thing we want to do is to now divide this into 2, right? Because we are going to have in the front and we also have the back. Everything, both the front and the back, will be equal because there is no zipper allowance, there is no extra allowance anyway. We've gone ahead to add everything we want. So now it is divided by 2, which is 11.5. I'm going to be drawing that line to segment my front skirt from my back skirt. So that is what I'm doing right there right now. What makes this wrap cowl drape skirt unique is the combination of its wrapped overlap. For comfort, the elegant cowl fold can fall beautifully, and the asymmetric hairline that gives it that designer edge, plus it's versatile. You can make it in soft fabrics for evening wears, or more structured for bold day looks. So now I label this is my front side and this is my back side. So now let's do our side shaping. So before we go ahead there, I'm going to rightly get my hip line. We need our hip line, right? We don't need the knee line. We need the hip line because it's not too tapered at the knee line. Just the hip line, it's okay. Then I've mentioned in most of our video, if you have not watched the basic skirt video, go to our channel right now and check for the basic skirt blog. You can even check the playlist of the pattern drafting tutorials for basic essential, which are there, the basic blog, basic bodies, basic line, everything. Just check on how to do this and you're going to be getting it. From your waistline, from my waistline to my hip line is 9 inches. For short, it is 8 inches. Because this is a medium measurement, it is 9. Then for tall, it is 10 inches. So I just measure 8 inches. Now I'm going ahead to label all my pattern very well so as not to get mixed up in what I'm doing. So go ahead. So I have my hip line for my front and my back. Now the next thing I want to do is to do the side increase. Now for your basic skirt, you raise your side seam by quarter and by half an inch, that is 0.5, and then you come down on the center front by half an inch. So right now I want to put my measurements on this, which is 10 inches, right? That is after calculating all the measurements for my waist circumference. That is 10 inches over there. So I'm raising my side by half an inch. Raise your side of the skirt by half an inch, which is about 1 cm. It's okay to raise the side seam of your skirt. That is both for the front and the back. Raise it by 1 cm or half an inch. Now I'm putting my measurement over there, which is 10 inches, right? So your measurement should start from the center front 10 inches. From the center back as well, I also measure my 10 inches. So that puts me at having a good shaping for my side. Okay, so that puts me at having my side skirt shaping. Is this not really looking amazing already? So the next thing you want to do, also on your center front, on your center back, you also raise by like a quarter or half, maybe like 0.25, 0.4, 0.5. Just raise it a little bit because of the curves of the skirt at the back. So you raise it a little bit. Then on the center front, you are coming down by half an inch. That is starting from your waistline. Come down by half an inch to rightly contour your skirt. Let me repeat one more time. Your side, or your both side, that is front and back, raised by 1 cm or 0.5. Same thing for your center back, raised by 1 cm or 0.5. Then on your center front, come down by 0.5. This helps you to rightly contour your skirt. So now let's rightly place all our darts, distribution that we added eventually before. So we are going to be putting all our darts. So from my center front, I'm just going to be, so before I go ahead, I want to get the center of my skirt for my front and the back. So on getting the center, I just use the hip line and the hem line. So I'm going to be getting the center of my front skirt, the center of my back skirt. Then I connect my line up. I'm doing the same thing for both my front and my back. I'm getting the center on my front and my back. I need that center line. So this puts me at having my side front, and also you can now differentiate that this is my center front, this is my side front, my center back, my side back. So you can see the way I'm dividing this. I just use my tape measure, I measure what I have there, and then I divide. Then that puts me at having my accurate measurements for my center front and my center back. Amazing, guys, right? You are really enjoying, loving this video. Don't forget, we have a full playlist of drape pattern tutorials waiting for you, including our most watched one-side dress skirt. Check it out after this video, and make sure you hit subscription bell so you never miss a lesson from DOSEfashions Academy. Now let's put all our dart distribution. So for the dart distribution, from my center front, I'm just going to be measuring maybe about 2.5 or 3 inches. It depends on you, but you can just use the half. Just use half segments, okay? So after getting this half, after dividing your skirt into 2, you can go ahead and divide again into 2 to put your darts, okay? So just divide. It is not a rocket science. It's simple. So just divide also by 2. Divide them again, then put your darts. Now for your front darts, for front dart length is 3.5 inches, just like we've been putting on all our basic measurements, basic skirts, basic pants, and all that. Your front dart length is 3.5 inches. Your front dart length is 3.5 inches. Now I want to put my dart on my dart leg on this. Remember, our dart is 0.75. After dividing 1.5 into 2 is 0.75 for the 2 darts. So 0.75 now is divided into 2 to get our dart leg. That puts me at having like 0.35 or 0.4. And that is what I use for the dart leg. Do you get it? You know, the total dart intake was 3 inches. The dart distribution was 3 inches, and we are putting it in 4 places. 3 divided by 4 puts me at 0.75. So 0.75 for each dart. And for you to get your dart leg, you also need to section it right into 2. 0.75 divide into 2. So I'm repeating the same process for the back as well, and then I'm rightly putting my darts there. If you love one-on-one sewing section, you can reach out to us at dosefashions1@gmail.com. or you drop a message in the comment section as we help you to learn at your pace. Now with DOSEfashions Academy, it is learn at your pace. The classes are flexible. You can always learn at your pace. So we are here to guide you along and to help you achieve your sewing dreams, giving your creativity expressions. That is what we do at DOSEfashions Academy. So now after doing that, I'm also going to be putting my darts right there. So I'm also segmenting my darts right there, which I have achieved. So don't forget where all your dart leg line are going to be starting from, all the new line you have on your skirt. So that is why you rightly contour your darts. Now for the back, the dart length is different. That's the first dart length for the back is 4.5. Then the second dart leg is about 4 inches. Your back dart length is different from that of the front. Why? Because of the buttocks at the back. So the intake will be much, right? So that is why the length is like that. So for the length of the first dart for the back, it ranges for 4.5 to 5.5, depends on the buttock size. Then the second is about 4.0 to 5.0, depends on the buttock size. That is the length of the dart. The length, because we use 3.5 for just the length of the dart for the front. Do you get that? Right. So now the next thing we want to do now, so we want to connect all our lines so that we can drape, so that we can connect them and then we give volume. So on my hemline, I'm going up by 2 inches just to create a line. Okay, so I'm just going up by 2 inches on my hemline. So that is what I'm doing there. I'm going up by 2 inches on my hemline. Perfect. I have it now. So the next thing we want to do is now to connect our cuff, just like I showed you in the earlier sketch, so that we can add enough volume. Now I'm checking what I have there. So that is what I'm going to be dividing into 3, because my connection is 3. The lines I want to use for the slashing and spreading to add enough fullness for this drape is 3 I want. So the 3 will give me more volume. So it now depends on the fabric you use that will help you to achieve this very well. So I'm still going to be talking about the fabric even in this video. So right now I'm segmenting this line into 3 divided by 3. I think I have about 22 inches here. So it divided by 3, and then that puts me at having like 7.5 for the 3. For the 3 section, I needed to connect my lines in order to slash so you spread. So look at why we are having 4 dart distribution. My first dart is connected to my dart. Do you see that? I'm using my pencil to curve this before using my marker because I want to see the curve if I'm comfortable with it. Now, one thing with pattern drafting is you can always make your mistake and clean again because it is paper. So don't be afraid of making error. Don't be afraid of having a wrong lines. Just do it. Guys, it is creativity. You're giving it expressions. So don't be afraid of doing that. I can see I'm also cleaning this because I want the curve to flow very well. I want a bouncing curve and a flow very well. This will also affect my drape and how it is cut out, how the result will come out, like you're seeing in the image of the skirt over there. So right now I am connecting those lines. Look at that. My first dart is connected to the other darts on the side. Now my center line that is divided by 2 for the skirt also connected to the center line for the back. Now the third dart is now going to be connected to the other darts of the back. That is why I segment the side line into 3 inches after taking 2 inches up from the M line. So now the 3 lines are connected. So those are the lines I'm using for my flow because this is just going to be connecting to each other and we are having just one piece. Just that we are going to be cutting it on fold on our fabric to have the 2. There is no joining at the back, neither at the front. It is wrapped. It is going to be meeting at the front and there will be closure. So right now I am using my marker to rightly outline this very well so you see the visibility of this very well. Guys, is this not really looking amazing? Is this not a beautiful project we love to try? Please try it. It is so amazing. I love the everything about the flow, even while using the paper. Now using a very best choice of fabric. Now let's talk about how to style this beautiful wrap cowl drape skirt. This skirt works best when paired with a fitted top like a bodysuit, blouse, or even a tucked-in tee because it balances the flowing drapes. Now look at it. I'm doing my numbering. You can see, do your numbering, please. 1, the 2, the second, the third, and then the third. The first, the second, and then the third. The numbering will help you. So now we want to cut our wrap. But before we do that, I'm going to just take half an inch from the third line because this other side will be going out of the skirt. So that half an inch will be connected down to the side of the skirt over there. You can see that? Do you see that? So I'm trying to use a French curve. I want the curve to flow. I want the bouncing flow. So while doing our curve, let's continue with our the styling of this skirt. For a casual look, style it with flats or sandals. Do you get that? For office or chic outings, wear it with a smart blouse or heels. And for evening wear, imagine it in a satin or silk with a camisole and statement jewelry. Absolutely stunning. So look at my pencil. I'm using my pencil to outline this very well. So when I get to the curve and I'm so comfortable with the curve, I'm just going to outline with my marker so you see this very well. Like I said, just be free with your patterns. So they are your thing. You are good to go. You are doing it. Yes, you are getting it right. You are getting all the process right. Just feel confident about it. I can see the results. I can see what you're doing. Okay. So I'm just going to be using my marker to outline this out. And then I have this perfect. Great. Guys, creative mind. Is this not looking amazing? Looking amazing already. So now we are going into the main work. This is just one section of the pattern drafting, the fun of it. We are going to now the fun of it, of this pattern drafting. So now let us cut the excess on the side out, right? Because we don't need that. Remember, no zipper allowance. You don't need zipper allowance or anything on this. It is cut on fold. You're just going to be cutting on fold from the center back. So now I want to label the center back with so rightly labeled. And after that, right now, we're just going to be cutting. Now look at the way the cut starts. So first of all, we are going to be removing that other side that I told you earlier about the wrap because we don't need that. That is out of the project. So this is what we are working with now. So the next thing we want to do, we also remove the other part, upper side of the front skirt, which we rightly contour. Great. So now we have what we need here. So for this now, we are going to be starting our cutting. Look at that. I started my cutting from one side of the leg of the darts. All the darts are going into the drape, right? So I'm starting there. We remove them outside. Look at one side of the dart is going into each drape. One side of the dart is going into each drape. So now look at it. So this is number 2. We also cut it out. Let's remove number 2 as well. So after removing number 2, then we're also going to remove the third one. One side of the dart is going into each drape. So after doing this right now, the next thing we are going to be doing now is we are not going to be getting a paper that we are going to be placing underneath this for the fullness of the skirt. Look at what we have. Look at what we have, guys. Just look at this. Just look at this. Amazing. And don't forget that you can add pocket to this skirt. So look at that side, upper side. If you are going to be adding a pocket, that side, that is your side seam, right? The side on the upper part, that is the only place we are joining on the side. That is where you can put your pocket if you want a pocket. So just going to be cutting a pocket and then you put it there. So it's going to be side seam pocket, which is going to be going into the seam. So you add it at that place over there for the one. Now this is the volume. This is the paper I'm using for the volume. So anything you want to do depends on the volume you want for your drape right now with this. So we are going to rightly slash all the things that is needed to slash here and put on this pattern. So now we go ahead. You can see that I slashed from the middle. I didn't slash everything overall. Don't separate the paper entirely. Okay, so just slash. So the slashing is to enable us to open this up very well so that we can accommodate enough room for fullness, right? We want fullness. I want that bounce. We want that flow. We want that drape. So that's why we are doing this right here. So it is opened up that way for the two. So just slash. Don't slash through, not separate. So right now I'm going to be placing this on this paper and I'm going to be taping. So you're not going to be determining the difference, the fullness you want. So make sure they align. So that is what I do when I'm draping. I make sure that my fullness aligns. So if I'm using 7, I use 7 all through. If I'm using 5, I use 5 all through. If I'm using 3, I use 3 all through because I want a continuous flow and I want it to align and that they are even. So I check my measurements and then I'm going to be using for this, I'm going to be using 7. The 7 was so amazing and it was enough for the draping. Like I said, you can have 6, you can have more, you can have less. It all depends on you. Look at it now. So I'm trying to secure the first wrap over there. Now, when you are working with fullness, I do measure this in every of our draping tutorial. Just check and look at how we've done having. When you are working with fullness, be careful of the paper you're putting underneath. Make sure you have enough paper. It is with experience I'm talking. Look for enough paper to put under because this will help you to set and you balance your pattern very well. Not that you are managing paper under or you are managing fullness under. It's going to affect your drape at the end of the day. So make sure you have enough fullness. If it is a fabric, if it's a paper, have enough fullness underneath so you don't have to be shifting your fabric, your main pattern up and down so that you can have enough fullness and the fullness will be aligned and then you have a great thing. So now that I'm confirming my measurements, like I said, I use 7 inches here for the center over there and then I'm going to be taping that at the base. So after confirming our 7 inches, I tape it down. So I do the same thing for the other 2 as well, the second one and then the first one. When it comes to body shapes, this skirt is super flattering. It highlights the waist beautifully, so it's perfect for hourglass and pear shapes. For rectangle shapes, the drapes add those soft curves you will love, and even for apple shapes, the wrap design can elongate the body. You get it, and give a sleek finish. So now I'm taping all my pattern right there like we are doing over there. Now in designing this kind of skirts, you need to look into the fabric. It is very important. You can do more searching about the fabric, but I'm going to be mentioning few right now. As for fabric and color choices, draping fabrics like crepe, satin, or rayon, they will give you that graceful fall. Neutral tones, when you talk about the color, the neutral tones like bridge, like tape, or navy are timeless, while jewel tones like emerald or deep burgundy, they give a more dramatic and global appeal. Do you get that? So look at that is the last one I'm working with there. You can even use prints like Ankara, yes, like African prints, for a bold and modern twist. It's a beautiful choice. It's a beautiful sample for your wardrobe that you can work with, okay? And you can also give to family and friends, and plus Christmas is coming. So now this is it. So just go ahead right now. And then we are cut. You can see the other side I'm cutting first, and then I also cut the excess I have on the other side over there. Right. So what we are left with, it's everything major here. So now the draping, because it's paper, it was not that easy to drape. That's why I'm taking time to talk about the fabric choice you have to use for this project. So because this paper, it was not easy to drape. So if your fabric now, you just go, oh my God, just going to go ahead and just keep draping, drape, and then you have your bouncing flow. This paper was quite not comfortable to drape, so I just have to pick my tracing wheel again, savior, and then I use the tracing wheel to weaken the leg. I'm showing you where you can add. So we are going to be removing that part. Like I said, it is to sew together. That is the side of the skirt, right? That is the skirt side. So it is to sew together. But if you are putting a pocket, you put a pocket at the opening of the two. That makes you to have a pocket before adding your waistband or elastic band or anything you are putting here. Okay, so you can see the drape. Look at that. Just look at that drape. Amazing. So I'm using my tracing wheel to weaken the legs of this so that I'll be able to still try to drape this so I can show you. But if you have seen this, if you have this on your table right now, you are good to go. So you're going to be going back to your center back. You're going to be placing this on your fabric, and then from your center back is now going to be cut on fold. So you have the fold effect at the back, and then on your front is now the wrap that is going to be joining to meet each other. Look at that. Look at that. Even in the sewing tutorial for this class, guys, let me know. Let us see if we are going to be having a schedule class 101, or we are going to be bringing it up, because very soon we are going to be having live section on this channel for sewing class. It's going to be live section for sewing class. It's going to be live section. Just let us know. But for now, it is our drafting. But if you have this, you can just go ahead. You are good to go. So look at that. So that means your 3 is going down to meet with other side. So I'm trying to use a tape to tape this down so that you can see the effect of what I have here. So eventually I use another paper again to cut this to show you the flow for this. So right now, look at it. So you're just going to go ahead and drape. You drape. So on that center is going to be forming that bounce. It's going to be forming that curve. So that is your center back, right? Your center, your side. That is your side. So like I said, your center back, it is cut on fold. It is wrapped, and it's going to be coming to meet the other one in front. And then you wrap, then you place a buttonhole and the button closure or a clip, anything you want to put there. But it's going to be having the front button closure. Okay, so you are free to work with no zipper. Very easy, super easy. Look at it. Just look at this. Just look at the bounce. Just look at the flow. Just look at the curve. Look at it. This is super amazing, right? Look at that. Look at that. Great job. So now that is how you just continue, and then you flow. You continue with the flow. Your fabric will help you to achieve more flow. Don't forget that opening on the side. This is the only place you are joining on this skirt. Otherwise, there is no any other joining. Then you just going to you hem the hem of the skirts. You can use bias to do your hem. You can do interlock. You can lock it. Whatever you want to do at the hem, just go ahead and do it. So you have this, and then when you have it on fold now, they are going to wrap and come to meet each other on each other. So they are just going to be coming to each other. And so the wrap is going to continue. Now look at it. This is so amazing. And this is where the result is. This is how we achieve this. And this is how this is looking perfectly. And this is looking so beautiful. So look at that. So I fold it to show you the effect. Okay, so it is folded. Now, before we finished, I quickly want to show you how to cut your band. You need band for this. If you are not using elastic, you need let's cut the band right now. So for the band, you are using your waist circumference measurement, right, for your band. Okay, but you can eventually still confirm the measurements you have on here. So it is the waist circumference that we divided earlier on with the necessary ease allowance, which is about how many inches again? The one I use is 34 inches. So now you're going to be getting, if it's your paper, if it's your fabric, it's going to be on a grain line. It's going to be like a bias cut. Okay, so you don't cut a band straight, you cut like a bias cut. So now get your paper and let us quickly cut the band. So now you're going to be determining the wideness of the band. If it's a band that is very wide, maybe like a yoga band or something. If you want a tiny band for this skirt, so it depends on what you want. So I'm still showing you the wrap. So look at how beautiful this is. So if you cut it on fold and you wrap it on each other, it's going to be coming to meet each other for your wrap. So I'm going to be using these pieces of paper for here for my band. So like I said, don't put your ruler straight or your cut straight. place it like you're going like a bias. It's going to be like a bias cut. So after drawing your line, then you confirm the length of your band. So the wideness of your band, the wideness for this, I'm using 4 inches. So when I fold it, it's going to now be 2 inches. It is okay. But if you want more volume for your band, you can just do 6. Then you also confirm the length. Like I said, for this case, it is for my waist circumference here, it is 34 inches, right? Divided by 2, which is 17 inches. So I put 17 and then I just had maybe half an inch, 17.5. It's okay. So I have my band over there and just connect those lines. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. So when you want to cut this on your fabric now, it's also going to be cutting on fold. It's not going to be pieces. So it's going to be cutting on fold. So I'm going to be removing my band. So because your waist is not straight, so that is why we are cutting like on a bias cut. It is not straight. You don't cut a band on a straight line. So I will label this that this is to be cut on fold. Okay, so I'm blending the straight line at the back there because it's going to be cut on fold. So label it that it is cut on fold. So you are going to be cutting your band on fold. You are going to be cutting it on fold. You use a waist circumference to cut your band, and it is not on a straight line. It is like a bias cut. So now I'm just going to be placing it on the fabric, and then it is cut on fold. I fold my fabric and then I cut. So when I want to use my band, I just fold into 2. Amazing. So this I'm just going to be stitching. So that is what we have over there. Boom. Guys, we have it. We did it. So guys, so this is the result. Great job. You have now learned how to drop this wrap cowl drape skirt. If you enjoyed this, don't miss our other drape pattern tutorials, especially our one side drape skirt. Still the most watched on our channel. You can find all of them neatly arranged in our YouTube playlist. Guys, give those videos a thumbs up. Come on, everyone, give it a thumbs up and let us go ahead and make our drafts right now. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to DOSEfashions Academy for more creative pattern making and sewing lesson. Look at that. I use another paper to do my drape. So you should have this on the both side of your skirt after making this. Beautiful. Until next time, keep sewing, keep creating.